probably get the player they thought they were getting at the time.
Eventually, we're going to have to talk about the '94 Cup run, which we wouldn't have a Cup run if Geoff didn't score at the Game 5 overtime winner. How much of that run do you remember? Obviously, it was awesome. The Bure hit on Churla. You had the Game 6 goal. Did you know that you were living at that moment in the best time that most of us can remember?
Yeah, I think, it was when you're deep in the playoffs and you're playing, you don't really think about it. You just want to play one game at a time and win. And yeah, I think obviously Calgary were the favorite to win the Cup that year. And, to score that goal in overtime, Game 5, I think that really ignited the team. We won the next 2 games in overtime, and I think that really gave us the confidence we needed going into the next series. I think that came together really at the right time. Kirk McLean played unbelievable throughout the playoffs. I mean, obviously in Game 7, the save he made against Reichel, and then Powell scoring in overtime. I think that the whole playoff run, it was, we came back and won in 7 in that series, and unfortunately should have done the same in the final. Nathan hit the goalpost with 2.5 minutes left. That would have tied it. I think that would have been a different outcome, but it was an amazing ride, and really getting to see how excited the city and the fans got after Game 6 here in Vancouver. It was probably the most glorifying, fan base that I had ever experienced in my career.
Did you know that right away that goal went in Game 6?
Yeah, I saw it hit the back bar. I mean, I was right there, so yeah. I basically saw it go in and go out, and I was yelling at the ref the whole way down the ice going, that was in, and then they scored, and then the horn went, and I went to the bench and I said to Pat, I said, that was in. And so they called it back, and instead of it being 3-2, I think it was 4-1, but anyway, yeah, that was a great game.
Russ, what was Battle of the Blades like?
It was an incredible experience. One of the hardest things I've ever done. And, I was a good skater, but figure skates are a whole different game. And so it took me about 28 hours of public skating to feel comfortable that I wasn't going to fall flat on my face. Doing something like that live in front of an audience, and then the country, the countdown, you're out there skating around in front of 3,000, 4,000 people in the audience. And then somebody over loudspeakers like, okay, 30 seconds till you go live, 20 seconds, get to your mark, 10 seconds. And then when that red light goes on, you got to remember how to do your routine that you only had like 5 days to learn. And it was incredible. And I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience. Wasn't great at it, but I really enjoyed doing it. It was funny. We were living in Toronto during the show, and all of a sudden, we had the hockey fan base, but then all of a sudden, like, we'd be at Starbucks having a coffee before we go into practice for the rink to practice for 3 hours with your partner, and all these women would come up who were on their coffee break going, "Oh, we watched the show and we love the show." Like, they didn't care about the hockey. They just wanted to hear about the figure skating and all this stuff. It was like we had a new fan base. It was crazy. And everybody enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun, but I didn't last long.
That's where that's where the Phil Blake edges come in handy. And then, yeah, the figure skating. So, Geoff, your son Justin, he actually played out here in Coquitlam with the Express. How's he doing these days?
Yeah, Justin's good. I mean, he ended up going to Boston University. Then he basically played in the American League for I think 3 years, and then 1 year in the East Coast League, and ended up meeting his wife in Dallas. So he's living in Dallas, and I've got a grandson, Ryder. So that's pretty exciting.
Okay. And then Russ, you've got the sports family as well.
Yeah.
Your one daughter, you have two daughters, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Brooklyn played for the team, or plays for Canada national soccer team.
Yeah, she played for the U20 team this year, or last year. She plays currently at USC. She's just finishing her second year, and she's doing great. Really doing well in school, and soccer's been. She's played every game, and it's been awesome. My oldest daughter played for UCLA, won a national title, and she ran track there also. She's expecting our first grandchild in April or May, and her husband plays for the Minnesota Vikings. So,
what?
Big
Who's
sports.
that?
Yeah, Eric Kendricks, number 54.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then they met at UCLA, and then our son Lawton plays in the East Coast Hockey League in Charleston, South Carolina, Sea Rays. So everybody's playing sports. The oldest one now is a model, and she's
Sports Illustrated model.
Yeah, she made the swimsuit edition, so she was excited. Took her 4 years to do it, and now she's modeling her baby bump. Pregnant women. It's pretty cool. So everybody's doing good. My wife's doing great. She's an interior designer, got her own company and a construction company, and so everybody's busy, doing well. Knock on wood, things are good.
Do you guys have any pregame rituals?
No. Well, you pretty well end up doing the same thing, and you get used to basically doing everything the same, and then I would go into the stands, and I would sit in seat number 14 at whatever section in whatever rink, and tape my sticks before the game.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Russ?
I kind of got rid of all my superstitions when I read this book, that superstitions were a sign of weakness. So I kind of gassed everything, but kept a couple. Always tied my left skate on. Always had to have my left skate on first, tie my right skate second. When I first came to Toronto, my second year, I lived with a Jewish family in Forest Hill, and their grandma told me it was good luck to always walk through the door with your left foot first. So that's why I did my left skate on first. But yeah, I didn't have too many, but I did do the same thing every game pretty much. I didn't consider them superstitions. It was more of a routine. We skate in the morning, have pregame meal, try to nap for a couple hours if possible, and then coffee before the game, kind of get dressed at the same time. Like I'd call it a routine, not a superstition. Geoff would always get his legs rubbed down before the games. I'd say that's a routine, not a superstition. But yeah, different. There were some guys with some crazy routines.
Oh yeah,
nuts, just nuts.
Definitely hear about it, especially the goalies. Usually, it's always the goalies that are the weird ones.
Yeah. I always found it was the sort of the weaker players that had the most superstitions. Like, I don't want to mention names, but a couple guys, like, they'd score like 3 or 4 goals a year, and I'm like, what's the difference? Like, you're gonna get 5?
Who were your sports heroes growing up? Like, who did you guys want to play like?
Boris Salming was mine.
Yeah, I love Mel Bridgman because he played midget. My dad coached him, and then he played junior, so I watched him a lot and just loved the way he played.
Okay.
You're tuning into I Only Touch Greatness podcast, Vancouver's best show with Ryan Hayes.
Often imitated but never duplicated, I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes.
Looking for the most beers on tap,
Great steaks, great staff, head over to the John B.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Say hey sent you.
I will forever be from the street to the V, where I learn to stand tall on my own 2 feet. Vancouver, BC is a part of me. I'm from Van City, grew up in Vancouver. Way back when we was taking taxis, not Ubers. We was being young, living life to the fullest, doing dumb things